What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, as you can already see by the title, let me just get this stuff together. We are going to be testing out the new Juvia'S I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation. And I also picked up the powder foundation as well. So for the shades, it's a long story. So initially, I ordered this on Ulta's website, I want to say the beginning of last week. I just got it this Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was going to do the review then. I purchased shade 520, which said medium with golden undertones. When I tell you it was way too light, and I am so embarrassed to even post the picture of how it looked because it was like way too light. I can remember using that same exact shade in their Velvet Matte Foundation like during the fall and winter months, and it was a match. So what I'm learning is that their shades are not, you know, it's not the same as their matte foundation. So I called around to all of the local Ultas because I'm like, I don't want to order another one and have to wait. Ulta, the two Ultas that are by me, they were like, well, we won't get them in until Friday or Saturday. So I had to wait until yesterday, like literally last night. I had to wait, and I was able to go pick up. So I exchanged one of the shades for $505, and then I got $435. So we will do some face swatches of the two, and then we will determine. I kind of already know what I'm going to do. And then for the powder foundation, I did get the shade Cabo, which is medium 1. I don't know if that's picking up for you guys. But yeah, I have some thoughts. So before we jump into the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below. And without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and jump into the Juvia'S I Am Magic Radiant Foundation review. Alright, you guys, so let's get into a little bit of information about the new I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation by Juvia'S. So it retails for $23. On Juvia'S website, there are 33 shades. On Ulta's website, they are showing 30 of the 33 shades. So it says, I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation is a high-performance hybrid formula that delivers a buildable medium to full coverage with proprietary active skincare ingredients and natural herbs like acerola cherry ferment, rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, and antioxidants to protect and hydrate your skin. Again, 33 shades, natural radiant finish, weightless and breathable formula that melts into the skin without weighing it down. Easy glide and blendability, medium to full coverage, non-cakey, long-lasting comfort, and a whole bunch of other good stuff. One thing I do notice also on the packaging, here on the cap, it does say shake well. That to me, sometimes I feel like a lot of products need to be shaken, and I feel like sometimes you get a better result when you follow instructions and shake your products, because I be seeing some people, they don't be shaking, and then they wonder why, you know, you get my drift. So let's go ahead. I'm going to shake these up, and then we are going to swatch the two shades that I have on the face just so we can see. Okay, so I zoomed you in a bit. The first shade we are going to swatch is, I think it's Caracas. This is shade number 505. Now the thing is, when they first launched, they did not have the description on their website about the shades and the undertones. It wasn't until I got mine in the mail. So this is 505. Still too light in a sense. You know, it might match the lighter parts of my face, but this is 505, and the next shade under is 435, which is Punta Cana. Can you see that? Okay, so again, shade 505 and then shade 435. To me, that is a pretty big shade jump. Like, I feel like my perfect shade would be right in the middle of the two. And so anyway, like I was mentioning, I'm just opening my wipes. But as I was mentioning, when I first purchased it, when they first launched it, there was no description of like what the undertones were. So I was really just guessing when I ordered shade 520. So you can imagine if this is 505 and it looks light like that, you can only imagine what 520 look like. So me personally, I'm going to probably have to mix the two because I just don't think 505 is going to work by itself, unfortunately. So let me get my little dish out so that I can mix the two. But what I will say off the bat, and I notice a lot of people are not talking about it, this foundation has a very strong fragrance, like a perfume smell. And it's crazy because when I tested the colors out on my face yesterday, and I used a different brush to just kind of blend them to see what it would look like. When I tell you that I still smell that smell on my brush. So just something to keep in mind, that it is not fragrance free. There is a nice little scent to it, which, like I said, kind of smells like perfume in a sense. I won't say that it's like really heavy, but I know that that could be a deal breaker for some people. So for primer today, I'm going to go in with two different primers. The NYX Plump Right Back, I'm going to put it on the perimeter of the face. And then the Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer, I'm going to put it in my T-zone. Since this is a radiant foundation, we're just going to use the NYX one for some sort of like gripping power. And then again, for my T-zone, I am going to use something that is pore, you know, pore filling and mattifying, so that hopefully it will hold up longer in those areas that I tend to get the most oiliest. Now, as you can see, I mixed the two shades as best as possible, and I feel like that looks a lot better. So if you are my foundation twin and you want to try this out, you will have to mix shades 505 and 435. Like I said, just from looking at it, it is a huge shade jump in the foundation. And it's crazy because shade 435 per Juvia'S Place website says that it is a tan, I think it's tan skin tone with golden neutral undertone. So that is what shade 435 is. But again, as you can see, it's just a little bit too dark for me to use it on its own. And then shade 505 says that it is medium with, is it medium with golden or medium with warm undertones? But again, I have to mix the two. So let's go ahead and start blending her out. And this is the strawberry cookies and cream sponge or something like that from Sephora. I'm not sure if it's still available, but I did pick this sponge set up over like the holidays. And it was like $12 for the two sponges. So what I'm going to do is blend this side out with my It Cosmetics foundation brush. And I just sprayed the brush. And I'm just going to lightly buff it in on this side. So this is the finish. Definitely radiant. Even with me putting a mattifying primer in my T-zone area, you can still see the radiance of the foundation peeking through. So again, as I mentioned, this is a better color match with me mixing the two, but still, with these being $23 a piece, who really wants to mix two shades? But that is what I'm thinking for some of us. Like, if you do go and try to pick up a foundation and you're not having the best of luck, you might have to mix two shades. Okay, so concealer, might as well go ahead and use the Juvia'S Place concealer. This is in the shade number 17. They actually have a really good concealer. Like, I have shade 17 and 16. So I actually really do like their concealer. But so far, I feel like the skin looks good. I'm not really against radiant foundations, even though I do have an oily T-zone. But I think for me, it all comes down to once I set the makeup with my powders and the setting sprays to see how everything locks in. Real quick, I also want to mention, you guys, I will leave her name on the screen if I can remember, or down in the description box. I was watching her review the Makeup by Mario foundation, and baby, when I tell you, I did not know that there was actual glitter part. It was glitter all over her face. All over her face. And I'm like, no way. And I think because my review was just like, let me just do it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really pay attention to it. But it kind of made me feel some type of way, because I think that, like, that's what I be meaning. Like, I don't want to just tell people, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon and be like, oh, this is perfect, this is good, this is, you know, this is this, this is that, if it really isn't. Like, I don't want to do that, because a lot of us, including still me, I rely on people's reviews before I go out and purchase something. So she literally did like close-ups on her face. It was just full of glitter. She even swatched it on her hand, full of glitter. And I wrote her, I was like, oh my God, I did not notice that when I tried the foundation. So tell me why. I brought my little self upstairs and I said, girl, let me swatch this foundation and see. And I'll be doggone, I swatched it on my hand and I started like moving it around, and I'm like, okay, I see the reflectiveness, because I'm like, okay, it's supposed to be like a radiant, you know, type of foundation. When I wiped it off my hand, there was glitter particles all over my hand. I was like, oh no, baby, I didn't know that. So I remember saying in that video when I tried it that I would probably purchase a darker shade for summer. I'm not purchasing a darker shade because not everybody likes glitter all over their face. And I know I don't, because sometimes glitter can be messy. But she literally, her whole face, like she had set it, put on bronzer, blush, all of that, and did like a close-up, and it was just glitter everywhere. I'm sorry, y'all, that made me mad. Let me go ahead and finish off the face. I might just speed through this part, but for cream bronzer, I'm just going to use the Charlotte Tilbury, and I do have mine in the shade number 3. Alright, you guys, so we are going to now go into the powder foundation. I personally do not like to use powder foundation all over. Even though I have combo oily skin, I just don't think it looks good on me. But anywho, this is the Juvia'S Place powder foundation. So first off, just being very upfront, I like the packaging on both. But this is what it looks like. Again, this is the shade Cabo, and this is the back. You can lift this up, and it does come with like the little sponge in here, which I'm not going to use. But again, this one comes in 20 shades. It says it's a long wearing, silky smooth, breathable formula, delivers buildable coverage. It's a blend of finely milled powders, regulate oil, and create long-lasting mattifying finish. So that's what it says. And I'm just going to use this big powder brush just to kind of set the perimeter of the face. She's pigmented. Let me tap some of that off. Hopefully it's not too dark to where it looks like a bronzer, but I might go up a shade just for now. I have to check what shade comes, like what shade is the next above this one, but I don't think that it looks too bad. Let me know what you guys think. I don't think it looks too bad. I don't know. Let's keep going. Nude. So for lip liner, we are going in with the new Revolution IRL Filter Finish Lip Definer. This is in the shade Americano Brown. For the liquid lipstick, I'm going to use the IRL Whipped Lip Cream in Chai Nude, which is like a pinky nude. And then for gloss, we are going in with Pineapple Pearl from the new Juvia'S Place Candy Shop collection. So actually, let me set with setting spray first, then we'll get into the lip combo. Alright, you guys, so overall, let's do a little review in regards to the foundation. In a sense, I can still kind of smell the scent from the foundation, so I think that that's the only thing that I'm a little like, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the scent. But for me, I've always explained, like, a lot of things that people don't like or make them sensitive to things, I don't usually have a problem with. I don't feel any, because I know a lot of people think, you know, with scents, sometimes they may have irritation on their skin. As of now, I don't feel anything. It's just the scent. I can't really describe what, you know what, it smells like cherries. It did say it had something cherry in here. It's a slight cherry scent to the foundation. That's what it is. I pretty much, and I'll just kind of show up close in the packaging what they look like. but I pretty much paid for like a high-end foundation. These already are $23. So the fact that I had to purchase 2 to get a perfect shade, that's as if I went and bought a Nars or the Makeup by Mario or something of that sort. But that is the only downfall. I do feel like when you look at the swatches, and I've honestly watched a review where it was actually Ohema here on YouTube. She swatched the 4 deepest shades, and it was such a, to me, it was a drastic change in the shades. So that is something I noticed with these. I feel like had it been a shade in between these two, that would have been my perfect shade. But again, I had to mix shades 435 and 505. Overall, I'm not mad at how it came out. I do still, even after setting, still see some type of radiance here on the forehead and here in the nose area. So I'm very interested to see how this wears throughout the night. This, it is already 5:10 p.m. It is late. I got to this video late. But overall, like I said, I think the skin looks good. I'm not mad at it at all. Again, I recommend you going into your local Ulta to see if they have the display of these before you buy them, because even reading the undertones and everything like that, like I literally thought a shade was going to work for me and it didn't. So I would just highly recommend going to see these in person if you can before you purchase. In regards to the powder foundation, I will have to continue using it. I feel like it added some type of smoothness, but again, I don't know if I'm giving it the full review because, you know, I'm not using it on its own. But overall, I do think that there is some smoothness, but I don't necessarily, I would just say I see smoothness. That's it. I don't see anything more matte on the skin because this claims to be a matte powder. So I don't see that anything is, you know, more matte where I place this powder. But overall, I will continue to use it. I am a sucker for powder foundations because I always use them over top when I'm setting the perimeter of the face anyway. And I say that because, like, even with me using the powder on the forehead, I do still see radiance peeking through. And that was me using this and my Huda Beauty powder. So the foundation is not lying about it being radiant, but thank goodness there is no glitter particles in this one. Overall though, you guys, I would say powder foundation, I give it an 8 out of 10. Same for the liquid foundation, 8 out of 10, only because again I had to mix 2. But I still think it looks great. I feel like these foundations would be something that I would reach for and use more than even the Makeup by Mario foundation, and that's just me being very, very honest. But that is it, you guys. That is it. Those are my thoughts. That is my first impressions on this foundation. Again, as I mentioned, I did want to share that strong scent of Now what I feel is cherry, because I know that a lot of people, that could be a deal breaker for them, and I want to be very honest because some of the reviews that I've been seeing, I have not seen anyone mention that. And I do think I saw one other person who had to mix shades. So that's just something, again, like I said, that I noticed. You guys, I hope you all truly enjoyed this first impressions of the new Juvia'S Place I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation, and also their powder foundation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you are interested, if you're still going to go ahead and pick this up to see how you like it, I am all for you guys doing that. If you do like powder foundation better and you do like a matte finish, I would definitely recommend this. If you are oily combo skin and you pick this up, I highly recommend going in with a more mattifying primer in the areas that you do get the most oiliest, because me personally, I would not be able to use this foundation without a matte primer or with no primer at all. I know that it just wouldn't work or sit well. But that is it, you guys. I hope you all stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you all in my next video. Take care. Bye.